know what nobody really tells you about rebuilding trust? The apology is usually the shortest part of the process. After that, it becomes consistency, patience, effort, silence, uncomfortable conversations, repeating the same reassurance without getting frustrated. And maybe the hardest part is realizing that somebody might still love you and still struggle to believe you. And that's a different kind of pain. Because once trust is damaged, words stop carrying the same weight like they used to. Now people study patterns.
You are now listening to The Cost of Culture.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cost of Culture podcast, hosted by yours truly, Chris Harrison. And this is episode 17, or part 2 of the Cost of Trust. And if part 1 was about damage, then this episode is about the weight that comes after. Because rebuilding trust sounds beautiful in theory, but in real life, it's uncomfortable. It's slow, it's emotional, and sometimes it forces you to confront parts of yourself you didn't even realize needed growth. And honestly, I think modern culture struggles with rebuilding anything now. Let's talk about it. Think about how culture treats redemption. I mean, people love a comeback story, celebrity redemption arcs, athletes rebuilding their image, influencers apologizing after scandals, car companies recalling a bad product. You know, culture loves redemption, as long as it's entertaining. But real redemption, that's slower. There's no montage music, no dramatic ending, no overnight forgiveness, just repetition. And honestly, I think social media made rebuilding look easier than it actually is. Because online, somebody posts an apology and people expect healing immediately. But real life doesn't work like that. Because once trust cracks, people stop listening to explanations and start watching behavior. That changes everything. Now, consistency matters more than words. Patience matters more than intention. Actions matter more than emotional speeches. And that's hard because sometimes you genuinely mean what you're saying, but the damage changed how your words are received. And that's a difficult thing to accept. One of the biggest realizations I've seen lately is that emotional pain has interest, and trust damage creates emotional debt because some people forgive you emotionally slower than you apologize. That's real. I mean, you can be trying, you can be improving, you can genuinely regret something, and the other person can still be carrying emotional weight from the situation. Not because they hate you, but because healing has its own timeline. And honestly, I think culture made people impatient with healing. I mean, everything online is fast now. Fast opinions, fast reactions, fast relationships, fast culture. But rebuilding trust, that's slow work. And I think one of the hardest parts about rebuilding is learning how to stay patient without turning defensive. Because eventually you start thinking, I'm trying, I'm showing up, I'm putting effort in. But the other person may still be hurting. And if we're all being honest here for a second, sometimes guilt makes people want quick forgiveness for their comfort more than the other person's healing. And that's uncomfortable to admit. Real quick, before we keep it going, shout out to today's sponsor, Pair of Thieves. Y'all already know I've been rocking with Pair of Thieves for a minute now. Whether it's the socks, the underwear, the tees, they just get it right. Comfort matters, especially when life already feels emotionally heavy enough. So if you want to support a podcast and upgrade your essentials, use code BC-ChristopherH368 for 15% off your first order. Again, BC-ChristopherH Christopher H 368 at Pair of Thieves. Now let's get back to the episode. Now, there's something else I've been thinking about. It's how people misunderstand second chances, because a second chance doesn't always mean immediate access again. That's important. Sometimes rebuilding starts with distance. Sometimes rebuilding starts with boundaries. Sometimes rebuilding starts with proving consistency over time. And honestly, that can feel frustrating when you care about somebody, but trust isn't owed after damage. That's what makes rebuilding so humble. And honestly, culture struggles with this too. People say people deserve second chances, but then they expect trust to instantly return too. That's not how emotional safety works. You can forgive somebody and still need time. You can care about somebody and still need boundaries. You can want rebuilding and still have fear. That's human. And speaking of rebuilding, I just want to thank everybody for supporting the Cost of Culture podcast on YouTube right now. The growth has honestly been motivating. All episodes are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. And yes, visual content is still coming. I know a lot of people keep asking about it, but I'm really trying to build this thing correctly. One step at a time, one improvement at a time. I'd rather take the time creating something authentic than rush something that doesn't really represent the brand. So if you rock with the conversations, subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Real Cost of Culture. We're building something special over here. Maybe the most important question isn't, did you make a mistake? Maybe the real question is, who do you become afterward? Because anybody can say they changed. The hard part is becoming consistent enough for people to feel safe believing you. That takes discipline. That just takes time. That takes emotional maturity. And honestly, sometimes rebuilding trust forces people to grow in ways they never could. I think one of the biggest lessons I myself and culture is learning is that rebuilding trust isn't really about proving you're perfect. It's about proving you're willing to grow without demanding immediate forgiveness. And that's difficult because people naturally want reassurance that their effort is working, but healing doesn't always happen when you can just see it immediately. Sometimes growth looks invisible at first. And maybe rebuilding trust means understanding that healing has its own pace. And you don't get to rush somebody through it just because you finally understand the damage. And trust might be expensive, but losing people you genuinely care about because you never learned how to protect it, I think that might cost even more. And with that being said, this has been another episode of the Cost of Culture podcast hosted by Chris Harrison. And remember, trust isn't repaired through promises, it's repaired through patterns. Peace.
Like, subscribe, and follow The Cost of Culture.